Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again. As you can see, I'm down by the river somewhere on Dartmoor. I was lucky enough to see an otter a couple of weeks ago, just upstream from here, and from that I think I've worked out a quiet spot where I might see him again. So I'm out on a scouting mission just to see if I can find any signs of the otter, and if not, it's a lovely misty drizzly day in the forest by the river, and I'll see what winter photographs I can get. So let's see what I can find. I don't know if you can see this, but already as I'm passing this rock, I can see some evidence of either a bird or a squirrel or something that's eating some seeds. See another one there. But what I'm looking for is some evidence of the otter down on the shoreline. Looks like there's been a lot of water, so that may have washed some of it away. But I'm looking for some trackways and maybe some spraint. I found myself a spot a little bit back from the river and just sat quietly. Perhaps I could have done with some camouflage netting just to hide my silhouette, but what I was looking for on the opposite bank were small beaches like this, and maybe evidence of animals running up the bank. I think this large trackway was made by the water, but you can see leading back towards those trees and where that dark, maybe hollow is. Maybe. Anyway, I sat there for about an hour, gave up, and then went back downstream. Well, I've come downstream a little bit from where I was hoping to see the otter. Not much happening, not even any bird life in the river at the moment, so I'm going downstream and I'm going to take some photographs as I go. So I'll stop here and I'll show you the composition I've found. I've got a portrait shot of the water leading up over this little waterfall into the distance where the trees bow down over the river. Makes a nice leading line into the shot. I've got a variable ND filter on and a polariser just to slow it down a bit. 1.6 of a second. Let's try that. Well, I love the pool in the foreground, and you can follow the little waterfalls up through the rocks into the distance. And with these overhanging branches, just making an intimate scene leading back into the remains of some autumn colour. Really nice shot. And this is what I ended up with. As you can see, there really are some huge boulders in the river here. Makes you wonder how they got there, and how strong the current must have been to move this stuff around. Anyway, I tried a landscape shot next, similar to the one before, and I think this works really well. Well balanced and leading you into those autumn colours. Well, as you can see, lovely spot on the river here, but I don't think I'm going to see that otter this morning. There's now a few more kayaks coming down the river. It's about 10:30, so I think it'll be holed up for the day. However, it's about 10:30 as I said, so the light's getting a little bit better. Lots of lichens on the trees, and the water's starting to look nice, so I might try some shots of that. Let's see what I can find. Well, I found my way back to one of my favourite photographs here. A little bit more water coming through since the last time I was here. Plus the logs that fall across the stream have moved slightly, so there's only one of them as well. So I'm going to give this another go and try and get a little bit more of the stream below this little cascade. Let's see what I can make of that. Well, hopefully you can see what I'm trying to get, and you can hear me over this stream. A little bit more water coming through here than last time I was here. But I think I'll take a shot from here and then try and get a little higher up with the stream running out of the bottom left of the photo. Got a variable ND on and a polariser. Let's see what we can get. Well, of all the shots I've taken of this small cascade, this is my favourite so far. I've got the settings just right as far as I'm concerned. I've heard a few photographers recently saying that they're maybe not the best advice on YouTube when you watch a lot of these photography videos, including mine. What I would say is, get out there and experiment. With a digital camera, you can do what you like. This is a case in point. This next photograph, I just wanted to frame this other small cascade and have some foreground interest using this fern. Probably doesn't work that well, but it was a good experiment, and I'll try again next time. while I enjoyed returning to that spot and just trying to get slightly different composition. But it's time to head up into the woodland and maybe out onto the moor. Let's see what else I can find. Well, I've come back out onto the moor and I thought I'd try and take a photograph of some of these small hawthorn bushes, and I found this tiny little lone tree, just a stick all on his own, so I thought I might try and take a photograph of him. Let's see what I can make of that. Well, I did my best with this one. What I do like about this is how the branches at the top sort of add to the moorland colours and blend in and break it up a bit. I wasn't going to be able to isolate this against the sky, so this was a compromise. And I still like this, and I'm sure not all of you will. I tried to make it into a black and white shot as well, to see if that would bring a bit more contrast and separate the small tree from the background. Hasn't worked that well, but it's still nice. I quite like the balance. Quite like where the trunk's in the bottom half and the branches in the top half, intersected by the moorland. And this was another experiment. The colours on the moor in winter are just as good as autumn. And with the lichens in the trees, the grasses that are going golden, and the dying bracken in the distance, I quite like the balance of colours here. And I thought this would make a nice 4x5 shot. And of course the moorland itself has lots of interesting shapes and colours. Lucky enough just to get some sunlight on these fields surrounded by the trees and the moorland. Just like an oasis on a hillside. And then my last shot of the day, looking onto the moor. Lucky enough to get a little bit of light on the furthest hillside, so I could then get these layers. Got the nice dark dying bracken in the foreground, the golden hillside behind, and a little bit of cloud just to give some interest. Well, I think that's all for today. Thanks for joining me. If you like the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give me a like. But I was unlucky today with the wildlife, so just had to take photographs of the surroundings. Never mind, that's sometimes how it is. Hopefully I've got enough film to make a decent video for you. But for now, cheerio.